Hello, one and all. This is Step Ahead with Ernie Rivera. I am your host, Ernie Rivera. And today we're going to be talking about the sin of pride with Shifu and Tai Lung of Kung Fu Panda. Now, a lot of you might not vibe with the word sin, so just replace it with the fault of pride. Either way works. We're just talking about why pride is a bad thing, and I'll tell you why as we get into this video. But before we get into Kung Fu Panda, let's take a look back at the Canterbury Tales if we can. In the Canterbury Tales, there's a story, the story of Chanticleer, who is the best singing rooster in the world. And he could sing so good that no one could resist to hear his beautiful music. Now, there was either a fox or a wolf. I think it was a fox, let's say a fox. There was a fox one day who was trying to eat this wonderful singing rooster, but how could he do it? So he distracted the rooster. He said, "Chanticleer, I hear your music is so brilliant, so beautiful. Would you mind singing for me?" And when the rooster was distracted by his own singing, the fox snuck up and snatched him in his mouth. And that's kind of what pride does to us. It distracts us. It puts blinders on us. So that we can't see the world how it is for what it is. It makes us think that we're bigger and badder than everything, which of course is not true. And we put ourselves in a lot of harm's way if we truly believe that. You know, we have to have this attitude where we're confident in our abilities, but not blinded by our talent as to put ourselves in harm's way. Let's look at the story of Kung Fu Panda if we can. Spoilers ahead, major spoilers for Kung Fu Panda. I'm going to tell you everything about Kung Fu Panda, so there we are. So in Kung Fu Panda, there is this warrior named Tai Lung who is the best martial artist in the land, and he's been imprisoned for many years. He was only able to be stopped by the previous best martial artist until his passing. When word came of his passing, Tai Lung, the warrior, he busted out of prison in this amazing, spectacular event, and he went on a rampage to take back what he believed was his dragon warrior scroll and his empire. He was trying to instill his reign of fear and quote unquote respect throughout the land as the best martial artist. So who was this guy? What happened to this guy? Well, there was a creature in this movie named Shifu, and Shifu was Tai Lung's teacher. Shifu is a Chinese word for teacher. That's all it means. It's often used in Kung Fu. But he found this baby leopard at his door, and he raised him as his own son. And when he saw that he had talent for the martial arts, he trained him the best he could to be the best martial artist ever. This is what Shifu did, and he loved this little leopard cub so much that he raised into manhood. That he was prideful. He had such pride in his child that he could not see. He was blinded as to what kind of a man that child was becoming. He was becoming egotistical, corrupt, vicious, and through a father's love, he refused to see any of that. And that is exactly what pride does to us. Again, it puts blinders on us, but we have to keep our eyes open. We have to stay focused, and we have to know what's what so that we can address it the best way possible. If Shifu did not have so much pride in his little leopard cub, if he was just a loving parent and not necessarily a prideful parent, he could have seen the way that his child was going astray. He could have cut him off at the pass, and he could have taught him a a new way. He could have redirected that energy and made him a warrior that the land truly needed, not one that was going to try to exact his wrath, one that was going to try to exact his will upon others. Okay, so before we get back to it, I'm going to ask if you can to press like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you get the new episodes as soon as they come out. It really helps me build my channel. I really appreciate it, and we have more episodes right around the corner, so stay tuned. Now, let's talk about a couple ways that pride can really affect us in our physical training. So, I'm going to talk about how it affects younger people, and I'm going to talk about how it affects people in their, let's say, late 30s, 40s, 50s, and so forth. But let's talk first about how it affects the younger people. So, I don't think it's like any surprise exactly that young people get hurt in the gym, and this happens for a number of ways. It happens because they're using improper technique. It happens because they see someone lifting a lot heavier than them, so they're like, okay, let's put on more weight. I can lift like them. Let's do this. So they start lifting like the other person, and guess what? They rip something, and it is not fun. Another way this might happen is a lot of us guys have been there. You know, maybe you see some pretty women around, and you're like, yeah, I can do an extra 20 pounds. Sure, let's put it on there. And guess what? That is not gonna work. That is pride right there, thinking you can do it just because you see someone else do it, or just because you're doing it for your ego. That's not a great thing. A lot of people get hurt that way, so play it safe. Exercise proper technique. Do what you know you can do. Push yourself a little bit, but not for any other reasons than because you're doing it to improve yourself. Now let's talk about how older people, not necessarily older people, but you know, when you're no longer in your 20s, and let's say, you know, your later 30s, 40s, 50s, etc. How do they get hurt? Well, let's say they're exercising proper technique, right? That could be the case, but they still get injured. And how do they get injured? A lot of the time, they are thinking in their minds. They're not listening to the situation. They're not listening to their body. They are thinking in their minds that they can do the exact same thing that they did when they were in their 20s. So they try it. They say, yeah, I can jump this many feet. I can lift this many pounds. I can do this, or I can do that. And if you've been training the whole time, sure. But if you haven't done anything in many years, you think just because you were able to do it when you were younger, that's not going to work. You know, you have too much pride in your abilities, and you know, you're going to get hurt doing the same thing you did when you were younger. It's just what happens. That's how they say older people get hurt. They get hurt doing what they thought they could when they were young, and this is very common. Okay, so I have one last story to tell you today. Are you ready with me? This story is about the devil himself, and just stay with me for a second here, because they say that the devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. You know, he was in a bind because he was way behind, and he was looking to make a deal. Now, as many of you know, I am talking about the Charlie Daniels song, "The Devil Went Down to Georgia," in which the devil attempts to make a deal with the best fiddle player in the land. And if the devil won, he would collect the young man's soul. But if the young man won, he would get a golden fiddle, a fiddle made of pure gold from the devil himself, as a sign that he had failed. And this song really could have gone either way, because this guy was I don't know if you would say he was prideful in his abilities, or if he was just confident, but he was the best fiddle player in the land. And here's the devil, on the other hand. He believes that he is better than every other human on the planet, that nothing can beat him, because he believes he's greater than, which he's not. And even if he has certain skills and abilities, we know from the song that his skills and abilities did not match up to the young man's in playing that fiddle. He was fiddling real good, and he took down the devil himself. The devil lost. He lost that fiddle of gold. He lost his pride because he was prideful to begin with, because he thought he was better than the world, and he got taken down hard by a human. So that just goes to show that pride can affect anyone at any time. Don't be its victim, be its master. Be its master by having humility, by having confidence in your abilities, by doing your best always, but always listening to the situation exactly how it is. Okay, friends and family, one and all, I would like to thank you so much for being here with me today on Step Ahead. I have been your host, Ernie Rivera. Thank you very much. Click like and subscribe if you have not yet. Hit the notification bell so you get the new videos as soon as they come out. Have a great day, and remember to step ahead. Bye.